We're talking about armed love here at Old Drunken Discography. Greetings and welcome. I'm Jason. With
together.
me
God damn it.
is Bill.
I'm keeping it together.
Yes, you are. You're doing a fantastic job. And Tim.
Either we all dance or no one dances.
I'm not dancing. Bill,
Dancing by myself.
Bill, get up and do a jig, then I'll dance with you. All right.
I'm sorry. Was I actually supposed to get up?
We are an unscripted show. We don't know if we're going to fucking dance or not. So give us a like, give us a subscribe.
Dance.
To help us out, all the help we can get, because who else is going to watch a ranking of International Noise Conspiracy but you? You, the viewer. We respect you. We love you. Tell your friends. Go check out this band because these old drunks said they were good. All right.
We did?
Well, we're going to, but, you know, I assume we'll get to the color code. I don't know because we're unscripted. Y'all might fucking shit on it. Well, I know Tim's not going to shit on it, but who knows what Wild Bill's going to do.
You never know what Wild Bill's going to do.
Armored Love, 2004, the same year as Green Day's American Idiot, the same year as... No, that was 2003. I don't know what else came out in 2004. Produced by Rick Rubin. Fuck this album, man.
And Siren Song came out in 2004.
There you go. I only say fuck this album for two reasons. A, it's not on Spotify. And B, there's a song called Black Mask on here, and it's a fucking lie. That is not the Black Mask that I know.
So, okay. I was going to ask, before we get too far into it, Tim, do you know what is up with track 6?
Well, that depends on which track 6 you're talking about.
Okay, with Black Mask. Just Black Mask.
Okay, so you were talking about the European track list.
I'm talking about the Wikipedia. That's what was on Wikipedia.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get into it, but yeah, I'll get into it. We're dealing with the European track list, which is the proper track list.
Okay. So
yeah, it's a new song, same idea, bigger audience. Why not go back and revisit, that soft fabric against the skin? I could be anyone, anywhere.
No. Bill, let me ask you this, because you go to YouTube for every album we review. You go to YouTube for your listening experience, right? I go to Spotify. Arm Love's not there. So I'm like, fuck, it's going to be on YouTube. Let me go to YouTube. This was a bitch to listen to as a cohesive album across YouTube. Do you struggle with that on every record, or was it just this one?
So I'll say that for this one, a lot of times
one video. I listen to it all the time.
I found a playlist. I clicked it. It said it was a playlist for this, but then they just kept they were trying to the whole video was really just an advertisement. It was some marketing software. It was a scam.
Perfect.
So that's actually fun fact. I had that in a couple playlists on this one. So actually, how I listened to this album
that's a conspiracy.
It was just the album as a whole, the 39 minutes and 20 even seconds.
I didn't want to do that because I wanted to get the track. I saw that playlist. I wanted to get the track so I knew what song was what.
And usually I do that as well. But this one, when I didn't spend a lot of time looking for it. I just went, okay, I can do the album as a whole because I feel like that sometimes does a better feel for the album as well. But
yeah,
because one of the people in the comments was, generous enough to put the timestamps for when each song specifically started. That enabled me to hey, I can reference back to that, which based on what Tim has said, then the album that I listened to like that was the European release. Because Black Mask
came out a year before the American release.
That's kind of interesting for 2004. I mean, I would get if it's the
interesting
90s.
for a Rick Rubin production too.
So I guess what was the context and how much was different then between the European and US version, just for
Well,
posterity's
I
sake?
have one of each in my greasy little palms here. If you want, I'll get right into it. So, right off the bat, the European version is 10 tracks, starts with a small demand, and on the American version, which is 12 tracks, um, they actually start with Black Mask. It's track one. So they flipped Small Demand and Black Mask, which were the two singles from this album. The Way I Feel About You is the same on both. Let's Make History is the same as both. Track four on the American version, that's Armed Love, which is the closing track on this album. But on the American version, they have it track number four. Five is different as well. And then six, yeah, six and one are different. Seven is different.
Well,
Eight
why is
is
it
the
not on
same.
Spotify?
I don't know for sure. I personally think that Rick Rubin has something against this album because he'd be the one preventing that.
But didn't
It's
he
not on
produce the
Amazon
next
either.
record too?
He does, and it is available.
Yeah.
This one also got tied up in a lot of red tape. Like I said, it came out 2 different years. Um, the European version is still on Burning Heart, whereas the American version is on Deaf American and Epitaph. So I'd imagine there's just a lot of red tape.
So
Okay.
for the viewers that are getting drunk with us at home as we're going through this,
So for Bill,
what is it? As much as the viewers were, I'm sure, trying their hardest to try and follow along with how the track list changed. What are
It
the
gets
12
pretty goofy.
tracks in
It gets
order?
pretty.
So
It's yeah,
what we
completely
have
different.
here is the European version of the 10 tracks, correct?
And I
Where we
will
start
go on
with
record and say this is the proper one. I also think it's the better of the two.
so pray tell what what is the American track list for the viewer that's following along and getting drunk with us?
Sure. Um, and I will point out the American version it also censors a small demand.
boo.
How hard?
They bleep out shit. It's not like a bleep, it's more of a mute.
Oh, fuck
Boo.
mutes. I hate mutes. Mutes are the laziest thing I feel like in music, but that's a whole other debate.
Ooh, that's a
Okay,
good topic.
so you want the American track listing here, real quick.
Yeah, just to
Black
see.
Mask, The Way I Feel About You, Let's Make History, Armed Love, Like a Landslide, Small Demand, The Dream Is Over, This Side of Heaven, All in All, Communist Moon, and then you get bonus tracks, A Voice of Our Own, and Guns for Everyone.
Okay, so it's the same
So
10 tracks, just rearranged with two bonus
Right,
tracks. Okay.
right.
and the
It
American
is,
ends with Communist Moon?
yeah, yeah. Which I can hear. It does work as a
I
closing
get it.
song. It's not as good as Armed Love as a closing song, but
I'm just thinking like 2004, like, okay, right. If
Mm,
we're changing around the order of a track list, you would think that there'd be some methodology, or maybe you're adding a song into the track list. And you said you had a couple bonus tracks.
you do have a couple bonus tracks.
I'm just
One of
thinking.
each. So one of them was from the Black Mass single. One of them was from the Small Demand single.
So it's interesting because, like, usually when you rearrange the tracks, you think there's some like methodology or right method to the madness.
Well, I
And
think that they were thinking that Black Mask was going to work as a better single for America.
which
that's the one. I couldn't find Black Mask on YouTube except for the official music video. So I just
Okay.
watched the official music video. So
Sure.
I think they were. That's why I thought that was on MTV too. It's
Yeah,
probably
and
on
Small Demand was
Fuse.
as well. It has a video.
Yeah, that sounds like what the American audience would have wanted in 2004. Minus the lyrics, the music was very garage rock, White Stripes type sounding. They even they were all dressed the same like the Hives do. It was not how I pictured the band to be when I watched that music video.
Timmy, you could correct me if I'm wrong. Band basically dressed all the same uniform in every video I saw, right? Where it's the same suit. Again, for me, reminiscent of the Animals, just from what I
And they
know
did
of.
it live. They did it in photo shoots, and yeah, it goes back to they're part of a collective.
Okay.
Also, the girl wasn't
fit.
there.
Yeah, that's the other thing that happens during this album. Yeah, Rick Rubin picks him up, and Dennis and Sarah break up, leading to Sarah leaving the band.
So they were a thing. Okay.
Yeah, and this was very clearly their artistic vision. They're laying in bed, listening to records, cutting up magazines, putting this shit together. So that's going to inform the songs here. Like, I've said it on a couple of the albums where, they've got these really grand ideas behind these songs, but they're kind of disguised as love songs. This is a breakup album that we're trying to like put joy into, the conspiracy. Like a song like Let's Make History. It's let's go out and make some history. But it's also like, oh man, you're not here with me anymore. How can I do this without you? Same with The Dream Is Over and This Side of Heaven and The Way I Feel About You. Like, yeah, is that song about Sarah or is it about socialism? Like, yeah, so Rick Rubin's involved and they need keyboard players. So who do they bring in to play keyboards on this album? Well, they got Bent Montank from the Heartbreakers and Billy fucking Preston.
Oh, wow. I mean...
See, I didn't feel as much keyboards coming through, though.
Let's Make History.
Comparatively.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, everything you said makes my notes make so much more sense now.
Which is why I wanted to throw it out there.
Because I had no idea about the breakup, the dating, the Billy Prestons, none of that. All that makes so much more fucking sense now. All right, A Small Demand. I see our old boy Rick Rubin produced this one. It's okay opening. The Way I Feel About You, I've heard this one before somewhere. I mentioned that like way back when we first started this recording. This had to be a single or promoted somehow. I don't know. I've heard this song somewhere before on something. It's super poppy from what came out previously, though. Let's Make History. The keyboards stood out. Almost felt like Queens of the Stone Age. I like the Keep On Keeping On section and the When I Think of a Revolution, You're in My Dreams line. Breakup makes so much fucking sense now. The Dream Is Over. This is what I want from the band. Loud and crazy. Drums and guitar, top tier here. Top song contender. All in all, this is not what I want from the band. The lyrics are top tier as always, but it's so toned down musically, like it just didn't. Black Mask.
Let's Make History was Bent Montank from the Heartbreakers.
Oh. I mean, I like the Heartbreakers keyboards too.
Yeah, same guy.
So, Black Mask. So they had a music video on MTV for this one. That's crazy. It even looked like every other.
Billy Preston on that one.
Oh yeah, for the keys.
Yep.
The video looked like every other in the Insert 2000s Guitars Revival.
Yep.
Name here video of the time. Give me back Black Mask from the first album. I'll take Rise Against Black Mask and Gasoline over this anytime. After Alkaline Trio. Oh, I'm not going to say that yet because Bill hasn't gone. Communist Moon. Meh, it's not bad. It's just boring. Huge step back from the previous album. This Side of Heaven has some energy. Like a landslide, I could not find the studio version of this, so I checked out a live version. Even the live version felt like it lacked the urgency from the previous records. Again, it wasn't bad musically, it just wasn't like as good. At track 10, the title track, second favorite song on the album, besides the fact that it put "Oh Can't You See What That Woman Is Doing to Me" in my head.
Can't you see?
Oh, can't you see
What that woman
it's been doing to me?
Well, see, now when you hear that crappy song, Armed Love will start popping in your head.
I don't
It's
know,
not that
man.
crappy of a song, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I love the energy on it, the onslaught. Third best closing track of the discography.
Huh? Okay.
And it may be cheating because since I have already heard the next album before this one. No, I'll wait till the next one. I'll wait till the next one before I get to that.
So I'll step up to the plate after Jason here. And when I say that, I suppose I'm the last one to go here, anyways.
I want to know what Bill says about Black Mask.
Oh, I'm about to say what you're about to think I'm about to say. Anyways.
I hope so.
I'm
calling you out if you don't.
So the Small Demand, it sounds more radio in nature for an intro, but it still felt like it was a solid intro. The way I feel about you, I thought it was a ripper. I love the beat and the lyrics going on throughout it. Let's Make History. That was my low point of the album, but it was still a solid point. Dream is Over. I thought it was a solid, hell of a great Ripper song. I love the instruments in All. Black Mask. All right, Jason. This fits the album better than some of the others ones. This is how you do clapping in a song, Alkaline Trio.
No.
Not the lazy.
No.
No, this is actually like some.
No.
It's not just clapping on beat either. Like this is like, okay, we're actually introducing some, a couple off beats. We got a couple different like this is how you can clap in an album song.
You're getting a fucking clap. You're getting a clap slap for that.
Hey, we could talk about the clap here on this.
You getting a clap slap.
All right. You leave the clap on there.
You getting a clap slap.
All right.
Help us out. Like and subscribe. Share us with your friends. YouTube algorithm hates us.
Why do they hate us, Jason?
Because we talk about the clap.
All right. So, following up Black Mask, and that's the thing. It just the first album was better. So, anyways, Communist Moon. I love this one a lot. I love the aesthetic and beat around it. This one sounds like this was their attempt at a real radio-ready song.
That's why it's
like compared to a lot of the other ones. Like especially 2004 radio, I could have almost seen this one making it. I don't know. For the sound of it, this wasn't. I mean, well, it's fucking Communist Moon. Wouldn't have made it as an American single in 2004. But
right, let's all share our dreams.
Fuck that.
We still had the Red Scare.
Especially in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, This Side of Heaven. This was the one that I really felt like they were really attempting at a radio song. It's not bad. It's just I don't know at this point, after listening to the first three albums, then going back through listening to a second time at this album, I don't want them doing a radio song.
Oh, just you wait.
Unless it's a radio song from 1965. Then yeah, I want them doing a radio song. I don't want them doing a mid-2000s radio song, though. Then we got like a landslide. It was a fast paced. I love the beat. I love the especially the instruments. Instruments I felt like shine through on Landslide more than a lot of the other songs on this album. Then Armed Love was a solid closer, but for me it paled in comparison to a lot of the other closers. Potentially the weakest closer for me.
Oh, can't you see?
What that woman been doing to me?
I, I'm going to disagree with you on you don't want them doing a modern radio song when we get to the next album.
Well, we're gonna get to the next album.
We're going to get to the next album.
That's the whole point of this show. We're going to talk about every studio.
The next one's pretty interesting.
The next one we'll get to.
We're going to get to.
Ain't no fucking animals on the next one.
Nope.
Really ain't no Rolling Stones either.
Nope.
I mean,
there is.
There's as much Rolling Stones on that one as there is every other 2000s, rock band.
Name a rock album in the last 60 years that doesn't have a little bit of Rolling Stones on it.
Yeah.
You know what I meant when I said that.
I know.
Nickelback's Dark Horse has the same amount of Rolling Stones as that album does.
No, there's more. All right, Tim, you already went through it, haven't you? I can't remember now.
Not really, but
go ahead and talk about Armed Love.
I thought Tim did. That's not bad.
Currently my White Whale on vinyl.
Oh, I bet this is a bitch to find on vinyl.
Yeah, it is. Currently the White Whale. I do prefer the European version. Because, I mean, Small Demand isn't censored. I think it is a strong opener. I'm going to say Armed Love as a closer is my favorite closer in the discography. There are no real low points to this album. There are songs I like more than others, but the songs that I like less, I still really, really like. This was an album when it came out. Didn't leave my CD, didn't leave the car for like probably a year and a half. Still listen to it all the time on YouTube. Plus, I got the CDs, so I can pop them in the car or at home or wherever.
You said Communist Moon is the closing track for the American version?
Before you get bonus tracks.
Right.
So, yeah, it's track number 10.
Armed Love is a better closing track.
I agree. But Communist Moon does work. I can see why they chose that.
Yeah, I can see why.
I think that the production on here is fantastic. I think the keyboards, as much as Sarah is missed, they more than bring the heat on the keyboards. I've been saying it since the first album. I think this rhythm section, Yngwie and Ludwig are they're one of my favorite rhythm sections. Their bass and drums here are just incredible on every song. I think Dennis sounds great on this album too. Like Dennis is one of those guys, and this kind of proves it where, this band isn't as big as his other band that's not on a major label, but this got on a major label and he held his own.
Fair point.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Dennis, and his voice is just incredible. I love when he screams. He gets that grit in there when he says, yeah. And it's just like, yep, that's all I need. I won't go into like favorite songs or anything for for top songs, but I don't think there's a bad song on here.
I'm so glad I ain't guessing this one.
What idiot's guessing this one?
Who's guessing this one, Bill?
That looks like a Jason
me, right? I think I'm guessing this one.
Let me put a bold
sure, Tim.
there.
You got the guess.
No. Don't let Bill fucking gaslight you,
Tim's
Tim.
got it.
It's Bill's turn to guess.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I guess the last one.
Actually, no, Jason guesses the last one. I'm going to correct you on that.
Well, I guessed the one previous to this one, I should say.
Oh, that's what you...
You drunk bastard.
So,
let's see here. I'm trying to remember what... I see no reason that Jason would not have this album number 4 for him. Because he had a lot more negatives to say.
Let me double check you, but I believe you are correct, sir.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, all right, I think Tim has this one at least 2, if not 1.
That is correct.
It is 1?
It is 1, yes.
Okay, that's what I thought, yeah.
I was going to say, is it 2 or is it 1?
And the color code will tell all, but I'll spoil it right now. I go back and forth between those two all the time.
And that's what I was figuring as I was sitting here ranking it for you. So for me, contrary to what Jason may think, I'm going to stick this one at number 2.
What do you mean contrary to what I think? Based on my rankings? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. Radio Rock always rules in Bill's world, let's be honest. Unless if it's a meh Radio Rock.
That's pretty
Or
meh.
hashtag first album bias.
Yeah. Color code will tell all.
Color code will tell all.
I don't even know how to color code. What are colors?
Stick around.
Good question.
As you can see, as this discography goes on and on, we get drunker and drunker, and mistakes will be made. So,
by whom?
Give us a like, Bill. Give us a subscribe, Bill. And be safe. And make good decisions.
Bill.
What?
Can't you see? Oh, can't you see?
And then you go a little woo, and then a little whoop, 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 and then it's all, and then you're ready to go again.